We've had so many different Sonic games in a ton of different styles over the years. Boost games, adventure games, open games, and fully linear levels. Honestly, sometimes I just stop and wonder, what would the perfect 3D Sonic game actually look like? Not just a good Sonic game, not just the best one we've had so far, but what would a game look like where it feels like Sega has finally completed and figured out Sonic? Today, I'm going to be giving you my vision of what that perfect 3D Sonic game would be, pulling ideas from the past, fixing huge problems, and focusing on what the brand should actually be. I hope you guys enjoy, and with that, let's head straight into it. First, we need to talk about the overall structure of the game. Personally, I love the open world style that we saw in Sonic Frontiers more than base level designs like Sonic Colors or Sonic Forces. Because of that, my ideal 3D Sonic game would most likely take place in one huge open world. Not different islands, but one main land. One seamless environment that you could explore freely from start to finish. This would be made up of multiple biomes, each with its own theme, atmosphere, music, enemies, and challenges. You'd have forests, deserts, cities, ruins, and more, all connected naturally so you can see where you're going and actually run there. Progression wouldn't be overly restrictive either. You wouldn't be forced into a single path. Instead, you'd explore and do stuff yourself so you can move at your own pace. However, one of the most important parts of this world is that it actually works with Sonic speed. One of the biggest problems Sonic games have had is that saying Sonic is fast, but then designing worlds that punish you for going fast. In the perfect 3D Sonic game, movement would come first, literally always. Momentum-based gameplay would be the foundation of everything, and speed wouldn't just be handled to you, it would be something you earn through skill and mastery. Stuff like slopes, hills, and curves would all matter, and learning the terrain would make you faster over time. The more familiar you are with the world, the better you'd get at moving through it. That's how Sonic should feel. Speed as more of a mastery, not as just something you get. Boost could still exist, but it would enhance flow instead of replacing it. The game will trust the player, rather than instead giving you some rails to run on the map on. You mess up, that's on you. You nail your run, that's a reward. It should feel free. Another big feature I'd include is multiplayer, but not in the racing or party game sense. This would be an optional co-op multiplayer built directly into the game. Up to 6 or 7 players could play together at once, each choosing a different character. People like Sonic could be speed and focused, Tails could be someone that could fly and access higher areas, Knuckles could focus on the combat aspect, and other characters like Shadow could be more aggressive. Each character would play differently, but they would all still feel fast and fluid. Multiplayer wouldn't be mandatory, but it would enhance exploration and give you a more fun time. You could split up to cover different routes, trigger some mechanisms together, or chain together attacks during movement. At the same time, the entire game would be fully playable solo, without feeling incomplete or empty. Another thing that would make the next 3D Sonic game peak is if you were to hit the subscribe button on my channel. It would really help me out a ton. Anyways, back to the video. Combat is another area where Sonic games often struggle, and in my opinion, Sonic Frontiers was really close to getting it right, but still missed the mark slightly. In this game, I'd have combat never break the flow. It wouldn't make you have to stop just so that you could defeat an enemy, because it would be fast, fluid, and built into the speed. Enemies would act as obstacles within your movement, not interruptions to it. You could dash through them, bounce off of them, and chain attacks to them, just to give yourself more momentum. On the other hand, boss fights would be even harder, but they would be at a much larger scale. You know, I wouldn't even mind if we saw only maybe 3 or 4 major boss fights, as long as they were all bigger and harder. Now, when it comes to the story, the perfect 3D Sonic game wouldn't need to be overly complicated. It would just need to be consistent and driven. The tone should take itself seriously without becoming edgy or confusing. We wouldn't need lore from previous games, any whiplash between jokes and ending threats, but just a clear conflict. Personally, I would love to see a continuation from Sonic Frontiers, where we saw some more lore based on that, but again, not something that makes it feel like you have to play the first game to understand it. Now finally, all side content would be completely optional. In Sonic Frontiers, we saw all of those challenges, trials, and everything be a huge part of the game, but instead, I would say they should all be optional for players who want to master the game, perfect things, and go for 100% completion, and none of it should feel mandatory. If you want to blaze through the story at full speed, go ahead. No grinding, no padding, and nothing else like that. No backtracking just to stretch out the runtime. Now, another thing I'd want is something Sonic games have really been perfecting recently, and it's a post-content roadmap. I'd love to see at least a 2-year roadmap with stuff like extra characters, a second storyline, events, seasonal items, and all those things. Maybe expansions to the map, changes, upgrades, who knows. Anyways, that's my vision of what the perfect 3D Sonic game could be. One massive open world designed for speed, movement, and fun. Sega has all the pieces they need to make this game. The real question is whether they'll actually implement this into the next 3D Sonic game. Now, let me know down below in the comments what your perfect Sonic game would be. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more awesome Sonic content. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!